The room is quiet. It's late. The kind of late where the world feels paused and your thoughts get louder. You're staring at your phone, scrolling, stopping, thinking. Someone posts something that irritates you. A memory resurfaces that still stings. A mistake from years ago whispers, "You should have known better." And suddenly your mood shifts. Nothing changed in the room, but everything changed inside you. That's the invisible war, you think. You're reacting to the world, but most of the time, you're reacting to interpretations your mind created in milliseconds. You see a message, your brain assigns tone, you hear silence, your brain assigns rejection, and it all feels real, like seriously real. Your heart rate changes, your breathing shifts, your body tightens, all because of a story your brain told, and you believed it without question. That's not weakness. That's wiring. For thousands of years, your ancestors survived by making fast judgments. Is that rustle in the bushes a predator? Is that stranger friend or threat? Is that tribe member losing trust in me? Hesitation could mean death. So the brain evolved to decide quickly, to assume, to predict, to protect. But here's the twist. The same mental shortcuts that once saved lives now shape arguments, relationships, careers, and self-worth. You think you chose that reaction. You think you just felt that way. But underneath your awareness, ancient systems fired first. The emotional brain speaks before the logical brain even wakes up, and most of us never notice. We blame ourselves. I'm too sensitive. I overthink everything. Why am I like this? But what if you're not flawed? What if you're running perfectly functioning survival software in a world it wasn't designed for? Because the real battle isn't you versus the world. It's awareness versus automation. Your mind is constantly filtering, bending, and simplifying reality. Not to sabotage you, to protect you. The problem is, protection and truth are not always the same thing. And once you start seeing the tricks, you can't unsee them. Tonight, we're going to expose 7 psychological strategies your brain uses without asking your permission, not to judge you, not to make you feel broken, but to show you something powerful. You are not irrational. You are ancient. And understanding that might be the most freeing thing you ever learn. Quiet moment where you realize you might be wrong. It's subtle, almost invisible. But instead of pausing, instead of saying, "You know what? Maybe you're right," something inside you tightens. Your voice gets firmer. Your logic gets sharper. You start collecting evidence to defend yourself, even if it feels shaky. Later that night, lying in bed, you replay the conversation. And you know you could have handled it differently. So why didn't you? Or imagine this. You post something online. Within minutes, there are likes, positive comments, encouragement. Then one person writes something critical, not even cruel, just critical. And suddenly, that's the only thing you see. Your chest feels heavy. Your mind starts overanalyzing. You reread the comment again and again. Hundreds of positive signals erased by one negative sentence. Your body reacts like you're being chased. That criticism at work, your heart rate increases as if survival is on the line. And here's the tricky part. These reactions happen before you consciously think. Your body reacts like you're being chased. That criticism at work, your heart rate increases as if survival is on the line. And here's the tricky part. These reactions happen before you consciously think. Why do I care so much? But maybe the better question is, what if this isn't a flaw? What if this is ancient intelligence misfiring in a modern environment? Because the same mind that makes you anxious is the same mind that kept your ancestors alive. The same sensitivity that makes you overanalyze is the same sensitivity that makes you empathetic. The same defensive instinct that creates conflict is the same instinct that protects your identity. You are not chaotic. You are layered, and once you understand the internal struggle, once you see that your reactions are patterned, predictable, evolutionary, something shifts. You stop fighting yourself. You start observing, and observation is the beginning of power. Let's step deeper. These aren't random quirks, they're patterns, ancient ones. Once you see them clearly, you start catching them in real time, like recognizing a familiar face in a crowd. Here are the 7 hidden psychology tricks your mind uses, quietly, automatically, and often convincingly. 1. Cognitive dissonance, the identity protector. Have you ever done something that didn't match who you believe you are? Maybe you see yourself as open-minded, but you instantly dismissed an opposing opinion. Maybe you value health, but skipped the workout and justified it. That uncomfortable tension inside, that's cognitive dissonance. Your brain hates inconsistency. It creates psychological friction. And instead of changing behavior, which is hard, it often changes the story. I deserved a break. They misunderstood me. It's not that serious. This mental adjustment protects your identity. From an evolutionary standpoint, maintaining a stable identity within the tribe meant stability and safety. Doubt could weaken status. The benefit? Emotional protection. The dark side? Self-deception. Sometimes growth requires tolerating that uncomfortable tension instead of explaining it away. 2. Confirmation bias, the reality filter. Your brain doesn't search for truth. It searches for agreement. If you believe people are selfish, you'll notice selfish behavior everywhere. If you believe you're unlucky, you'll catalog every failure. This is confirmation bias, the tendency to favor information that supports what you already think. In early human life, quick judgment saved time. You didn't debate whether the approaching group was friendly. You categorized fast. That speed increased survival. But today, it narrows perspective. The benefit? Decisiveness. The dark side? Blind spots. The world feels objective, but much of what you see is filtered through expectation. 3. Negativity bias, the threat scanner. Why does one insult echo louder than 10 compliments? Because your brain is wired to scan for danger first. This is tied to your HPA axis, the system that controls your stress response. When it senses threat, your body releases stress hormones, your attention sharpens. Thousands of years ago, missing one threat could mean death. Missing one compliment, irrelevant, so your brain prioritized the negative. Today, that bias can make minor criticism feel catastrophic. The benefit? Protection, the dark side, anxiety and rumination. Your mind isn't pessimistic, it's vigilant. 4. The spotlight effect, the illusion of attention. You walk into a room and feel like everyone notices your awkwardness. They don't. This is the spotlight effect, the tendency to overestimate how much others observe and judge you. In tribal societies, reputation was everything. Being watched meant being evaluated. Being evaluated affected survival. So your brain evolved heightened social awareness. But in modern life, most people are consumed by their own insecurities. The benefit, social sensitivity, the dark side, social anxiety. You are not under a spotlight. You're standing among other people who feel the same way. 5. The sunk cost fallacy, emotional investment trap. You stay in situations longer than you should. A draining relationship, a failing plan, a career path you secretly resent. Why? Because you've already invested so much. Time, energy, identity. Your brain hates loss more than it loves gain. This is linked to loss aversion. We feel losses more intensely than equivalent rewards. In ancient environments, wasting resources could threaten survival, so persistence was adaptive. But today, this bias can chain you to the past. The benefit? Loyalty and perseverance. The dark side? Stagnation. Letting go sometimes requires overriding ancient wiring. 6. Emotional reasoning. Feelings as facts. You feel anxious, so you assume something must be wrong. You feel insecure, so you conclude you're inadequate. This is emotional reasoning. The belief that if something feels true, it must be true. But emotions are biological signals, not objective measurements. The vagus nerve, which helps regulate calm states, plays a major role here. If your nervous system is dysregulated, your body may feel unsafe even when your environment is safe. Your mind then constructs a narrative to explain the sensation. The benefit? Rapid intuition. The dark side? Distorted conclusions. Feelings provide information. They are not verdicts. 7. Self-serving bias. The ego shield. When you succeed, it's because of your talent. When you fail, it's because of circumstances. That's the self-serving bias. It protects confidence. It preserves motivation. In dangerous environments, low self-belief could reduce risk-taking, hunting ability, or social influence. So protecting self-esteem had survival value, but unchecked, this bias blocks accountability. The benefit? Resilience. The dark side? Lack of growth. True maturity comes when you can own both success and failure without collapsing. Here's what's fascinating. None of these tricks mean your mind is broken. They reveal that your brain is deeply efficient, deeply protective, deeply ancient. These patterns once kept humans alive in forests, deserts, and hostile landscapes. Now they operate in offices, group chats, and comment sections. And most of the time, you don't even notice. But the moment you do, the invisible becomes visible. And once a pattern is visible, it becomes a choice. Here's the part most people never hear. You are not irrational. You are not overly sensitive. You are not dramatic. You are not weak. You are ancient. And that changes everything. For years, we've been told to control your thoughts, stop overthinking, just be positive. But that advice assumes your mind is malfunctioning. It's not. It's operating exactly as it was designed to. The real problem isn't your brain. It's the mismatch between ancient wiring and modern reality. Your nervous system evolved in small tribes, limited threats, clear dangers, immediate consequences. Now, you face social comparison on a global scale, endless information, constant evaluation, digital rejection, artificial urgency. Your brain hasn't caught up. And here's the twist that most people miss. The same mechanisms causing your stress are also the source of your intelligence. The negativity bias that fuels anxiety, it's also what makes you detail-oriented. The spotlight effect that triggers self-consciousness, it's what allows you to read social cues deeply. Cognitive dissonance, it's proof that you care about your identity and integrity. Confirmation bias, it's your brain trying to create coherence in a chaotic world. These are not defects. They are evolutionary upgrades. But every upgrade needs calibration, and that's where neuroplasticity comes in. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to rewire itself through experience. Think of your mind like a forest trail. The more you walk a path, the clearer it becomes. The less you walk it, the more it fades. Your biases are well-worn trails, but you can create new ones, not by fighting your thoughts, not by shaming yourself, but by interrupting the pattern. So how do you actually do that? Let's make this practical, not theoretical, not abstract, real shifts. Step 1, separate sensation from story. Most psychological suffering comes from one thing. You merge what you feel with what you believe. You feel anxiety and instantly assume danger. You feel rejection and assume unworthiness. You feel embarrassment and assume judgment. Pause. When emotion rises, say this internally. This is a sensation, not a conclusion. That single sentence creates space. Because emotions travel through your body first. They activate your stress systems. They stimulate the HPA axis. They increase your heart rate. But the story is optional. By labeling the feeling, this is anxiety, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain. Observation weakens emotional intensity. It's like turning the lights on in a dark room. Step 2, create cognitive friction. Your brain loves shortcuts, so give it speed bumps. When you catch yourself thinking, they must be judging me, add, what's another possible explanation? When you think, I always fail, add, what evidence contradicts that? This interrupts confirmation bias. It forces your mind to widen its lens. At first, it feels unnatural. That's normal. Remember the forest trail metaphor. You're carving a new path, and it takes repetition. But here's the interesting part. When you consistently challenge automatic thoughts, you strengthen neural pathways associated with flexibility. Over time, balanced thinking becomes easier. Not forced, just easier. Step 3, regulate the body before the mind. Most people try to think their way out of stress. That rarely works, because your body reacts before your logic does. If your nervous system is activated, reasoning becomes distorted. So start physically. Slow your breathing. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4, exhale for 6. Longer exhale stimulates the vagus nerve, which signals safety to the body. And when the body feels safe, the mind follows. This isn't spiritual, it's biological. Calm body, clearer perception. Step 4, practice identity flexibility. Many biases protect your sense of self, but identity doesn't need to be rigid to be strong. Instead of saying, I am bad at this, try, I am learning this. Instead of, I'm not confident, try, I'm building confidence. That subtle shift reduces cognitive dissonance. It allows growth without threatening your self-image. Your brain resists threats to identity, so don't attack your identity, expand it. Step 5, normalize the pattern. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is this. Stop taking your thoughts personally. They are patterns, statistically predictable ones. When you realize millions of people experience the same biases, the same distortions, the same internal conflicts, shame decreases, curiosity increases, and curiosity is transformative. Because once you become curious about your reactions instead of critical of them, you become an observer, and the observer has power. Let me say something gently. You don't need to eliminate these biases, you need to manage them. You will still feel defensive sometimes, you will still assume the worst occasionally, you will still overthink. That's human. The goal is not perfection, it's awareness. Awareness gives you a split second, and that split second is freedom. Freedom to choose whether to follow the ancient script or write a modern one. And here's something fascinating. When you consistently observe your mental patterns without judgment, you reduce their emotional charge. It's like a magician revealing a trick. Once you know how it works, it loses its power. Your brain will still try to protect you, but now you'll recognize the move. You'll feel the bias activating and think, there it is. And instead of spiraling, you'll pause. That pause is evolution in real time. Your ancestors evolved biologically. You evolve consciously. That's the upgrade. So the next time your mind tells you a dramatic story, and don't attack it, thank it. It's trying to protect you. Then gently decide whether the protection is still necessary, because the real transformation isn't silencing your mind, it's understanding it. And when you understand it, you stop being controlled by it, you start collaborating with it, and that's when growth stops feeling like self-battle and starts feeling like self-leadership.